Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Errol Spence Jr. wants some Canelo Alvarez smoke. Let's just break it down. And, according to Ellie Segback, ES News, they did an interview with Errol Spence Jr. and he's open to moving up in weight to 160 pounds to fight Saul Canelo Alvarez. And I find that a very interesting move from Errol Spence, to even being open to that fight, to even being talking about Canelo Alvarez when he hasn't even cleared out all the guys in his division yet. He hasn't unified the belts in his division, and he's already talking about a Canelo Alvarez, the face of boxing. See, it's coming off a little bit almost as a clout chasing maneuver, but then you also see that these two guys have some sort of history. You see Errol Spence Jr., he called out Canelo Alvarez years ago, basically stating that he wants Canelo Alvarez at 154 in Texas. Since then, Oscar De La Hoya has responded to that and said, he'd be interested in doing Canelo versus Spence. And then even recently as last year when Errol Spence Jr., right before he fought Shawn Porter, he stated, hey, after he beat Shawn Porter, he would love to face Canelo Alvarez. And this is his exact statement. He said, I'll beat Canelo's ass. After I fight Shawn Porter, I'm going to fight Canelo, and I'm going to call Oscar's bluff. And that's a bluff in which he's never called, because Oscar De La Hoya wasn't bluffing. You see Canelo Alvarez is not afraid of any boxers in or around his division. He fought a much more skilled, talented, bigger, stronger, and better fighter than Danny Jacobs. Beat him. He fought a very good Triple G, elite level fighter, a fighter who was already a unified champion, one of the best in the division, the best when Canelo fought him. Beat him. He moved up 2 weight classes and fought Sergey Kovalev. Beat him. And so at the end of the day, Canelo Alvarez is even looking at 2 undefeated world champions at 168. And he's favored to beat both of those guys. So if we're going to be honest and unbiased about it, the fact that Canelo Alvarez, is taking on such enormous challenges, why would it be a bluff to face Errol Spence Jr.? Who is Errol Spence? Errol Spence Jr. is a guy, who couldn't knock out a dude moving up 2 weight classes in Mikey Garcia. That's who Errol Spence Jr. is. Errol Spence Jr. is a guy who struggled with Showtime Shawn Porter. A Showtime Shawn Porter who had been dropped by Adrian Broner. So you pretty much, did what Adrian Broner did in dropping Shawn Porter. Yes, he got the victory, but many people felt like it was a very razor thin victory, and one in which could have went the other way to Shawn Porter. I personally felt that Shawn Porter deserved the nod on that. It was a split decision victory. Even one of the judges had Shawn Porter winning. A lot of fans were upset with the CompuBox stats. Errol Spence Jr. low blowed Shawn Porter a lot in that fight. So you see the struggles that he had with a Shawn Porter who's an aggressive come forward fighter and who was turning Errol Spence multiple times in the fight, pretty much put on a clinic at times, especially within the first 6 rounds. What do you think Canelo Alvarez would do? I respect Errol Spence. He's an undefeated, unified world champion, has an 80% knockout rate. But, a few things are troubling. Errol Spence Jr. is older than Canelo Alvarez, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. He has a height and reach advantage. And, but he doesn't have a skills advantage. And then you look at Errol Spence Jr., with the whole Terrence Crawford situation. Why would you want to fight Canelo Alvarez when you have no intention or not even interested in fighting Terrence Crawford? You're openly ducking Terrence Crawford. So much so that, Terrence Crawford had to tell you to take your panties off and sign the contract. But it wasn't strap season with Terrence Crawford. It was quiet season. And look, let's be honest and unbiased. Canelo Alvarez destroys Errol Spence Jr. He stops him within 6 rounds. Errol Spence Jr. is a one-dimensional fighter. The only time he's ever showed boxing skills was against a guy 2 weight classes below him. At the end of the day, Errol Spence Jr. is a good fighter. He's just not a great fighter. Errol Spence Jr.'s skill set is not going to transcend weight classes. His biggest and best attribute at 147 pounds is his size. At 154, which is a weak division, he may be able to get another belt. At 160, it's virtually impossible looking at the type of competition, skill sets, power, and speed, all these fighters have at 160 pounds. It's going to be too much for Errol Spence, where he will not have the advantage of size and power, where he would just be another ordinary fighter. But once again, unbiased as always, it's the IBFP.